Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first day of school.
Hi.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Gabe.
My name is Olafur.
I do some community stuff.
I do some coding stuff.
I have absolutely nothing.
You have nothing to say?
I have nothing to say. I know nothing.
That's good.
I'm here to learn. You have to teach me what to say.
That's why we're here. Yeah.
This is going to be great. Just a quick mention for those of you who are probably maybe watching this on YouTube. It might be weird because we'll have some chat interaction, which is why we look this way. But yeah. What are we doing first?
We're going to go to my screen.
We're going to go to Olafur's screen. He
Yeah.
has some stuff to share.
I have some stuff
Do you want to
share.
go through a little bit of what we're going to do today?
So basically, it's going to be a small presentation. A bit of it is kind of preamble about what we're going to do here. Then we are going to learn a little lesson. And then we are going to try to apply that actually with code. You don't need anything right now. When we switch to the lesson, you will actually need to go to our website. We will post the website there. The website should be also in the links in the description on YouTube. And
I actually just panicked when it said mic muted and Yannick said no sound. I was like, that's a lie.
I can see the sound. It's fine.
And I could see people reacting to me saying I know nothing. Liar. But yeah, we're gonna go over to your screen. It's beautiful. Oh yeah.
There we go.
Let's get this going.
Should we get going?
I'm excited.
Good. You should be.
Yeah.
Hi, Gabe.
Oh yeah. Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
That's great.
That's
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I'm as ready as I could ever be.
That's good to know. So we're gonna have a lot of fun, Gabe. We are.
We are.
And but first we need to get a little serious for a second.
Okay. I'm good at getting serious.
It's good. It's just for a few moments.
Okay.
I promise.
Okay.
It's fine.
Good.
Gabe is on my this end, so I'm looking at him sometimes.
Yeah.
So the thing with programming is learning to program is going to be hard work. And it's hard work that is not going to be done by me. The work I'm going to do is relatively minor in relation to what you are going to have to do. So I will teach you, but you have to put in the hours to practice. And that is the biggest point here. Even after all the years that I have been a programmer, I'm still learning. And that's wonderful. I'm still practicing every day, always practicing something. And I hope I will never, ever stop learning. Because programming is a craft. I can show you the basics, Gabe.
I thought you were saying I could show you the world.
I can show you the world. We could do that.
Yeah.
We could make one.
Show me. Yeah. You can show me it.
Yeah, it will take time, but we can make one. But it's going to take a long time for you to be comfortable, even with the basics. So don't worry if you think you don't get it. We all did at some point. Do you accept these terms and conditions?
I do. This is very motivational. I'm ready to go.
That's good. Chat, do you accept these terms and conditions? I hope so.
They don't have a choice.
They don't have a choice. I'm
Chat
very
has to
sorry.
accept it.
You're coming along on this journey. Good. So, let's go. Computers, they love numbers. Oh, numbers are so wonderful. Don't you think?
Yeah.
What's your favorite number?
6.
Oh, that's a good number.
Yeah.
So, everything within a computer is represented as a number in some way. Everything. Text, graphics, sound, everything. Even when I say I can see the sound, it's a number in some sense.
So you're not lying.
I'm not lying. So what is programming then? It is writing instructions for the computer to store, modify, read, or inspect numbers, in essence. It might not look like that when someone is programming, but once you get down to it, it is that. It is the main job of the GPU.
Oh man, blocked a little bit by the webcams.
Oh. Yeah, okay. But it says that is the main job of the CPU. I didn't do a camera test on this one.
I can turn it off slightly. We can
fine.
turn it off for when that happens.
Okay, there might be a few cases where that happens.
Right.
So today we are going to learn three concepts. With only those 3 concepts, we're going to write code.
Bam.
Bam.
I can remember 3, maybe.
3 is good. We can learn 3.
4 might, maybe not.
So, concept 1, variables. A variable is a way to store numbers in memory. Yeah, you have to do that then.
Okay. We're just gonna
And
just for a second.
yeah. So how the CPU does that does not matter right now. It's going to do that in some sense. Okay?
Killing your overlays, Hamish.
Shows how much we practice this. Variables need to be defined before they are used. We can have the border thing. Yeah. So they have to be defined before they can be used. So we have to say, this is a variable, and we can then use it. Yeah.
Damn it.
Damn it.
We're just gonna keep doing this.
Yes. Variables can change their value after they have been defined. So here is a definition of an integer variable. An integer is a whole number. It can be 0, it can be 1, it can be negative 14, or in this case, 2018. So we're saying that current year, it's a variable called current year, is 2018, and it is an integer. So these are, we can say these are 4 parts. We're saying that it is an integer. We're saying the name of it, current year. We're saying that it is going to be some value, the equal sign, and then what value it's going to be, 2018. And then we have a semicolon at the end, and the semicolon is used to end a one-line statement. So if you have one-line statements, you end them with a semicolon. And then here, we have a definition and an assignment. So let's say we made a variable called current year, and we put the number to 2017. And then we say, no, it's actually now 2018. We want to change it after we've created it. We don't have to say the int. The int part only has to come once, because that is the definition. And after that, we use it. You good, Gabe?
I'm good. Not melting yet. Just it's slightly
Yeah.
fried. We're getting there.
Slightly fried, medium.
Slightly fried.
Medium, okay? So, you can probably do, we could probably do cameras again, since I'll go through this in a little bit. So, I can say a variable called years since the millennium. That's 18. I can say, what century are we in? We're in the 20th century. So we have those 2 variables. Now, since we have that name, the century name, I can use it. I can say the decade variable is going to store the value in the century variable times 100. So I will then get 2000.
Bam, got that one.
Yeah, because century, if we look at the value in century, it's the value 20. So we substitute. That's the important part.
These lights are going crazy. Someone followed the channel.
Someone follow the channel. It's going to be century, and then we can do a substitution. Cool. So decade is century times 100, which is then 2000. And then a year, and then we see we have no numbers yet now. So a year is a decade plus years since millennium. So we will do a lookup on those. What is a decade? It is the year 2000. Okay, so that will be the variable decade will be replaced with the number 2000. But then we have years since the millennium. That will be replaced with the number 18. And then it's just a math problem. 2000 plus 18. We solve that. 2018. Put it into the variable.
Bam.
It is not until we have solved the math problem on the right-hand side of the equal sign. So it's when we have solved the math problem on the right-hand side where the value goes into the left-hand side. If you think of it that way. We can't store the mathematical abstraction going on here in the variable, but we can store the value after we've calculated it. So if we don't know the numbers or it's a variable we haven't created, we can't do anything with it. Okay?
Got it.
Good? Someone's saying it's the 21st century. Well, there are bugs in code. It's okay.
Is that 99 bugs
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. No, what is it? I can't remember what it is.
99 bucks. Yeah, you fix one bug, you have 400
Yeah,
bugs. Yeah.
just fix one. Here's a lot more.
Exactly. So, concept 2, conditions. Conditions are used to ask variables questions. That's it. There are many types of conditions. We're going to use one of them. The answers to those questions can only be true or false.
So we can make 2018 not exist by saying it's false.
Correct.
Bam.
Correct.
2018 doesn't exist
Doesn't
anymore.
exist.
We're skipping.
Yeah. So, a condition is used to ask a variable a question, and the answer can only be true or false, yes or no. Okay. So if we have 11 students, and we have one teacher, I think we have to turn off the camera now.
Okay.
Sorry. Sorry for that. If the students are more than 10, we'll look at the syntax later. So, but the idea is that we ask the question if what the question is within the parentheses, and then the students is greater than 10. If that is true, we can put curly braces in.
Woohoo.
And everything within the curly braces will be executed only if the condition is true. So then we'd say, if there are more than 10 students, teachers are actually going to be the value of teachers plus 1.
So 2 teachers. If
Two
there's 11
teachers, correct.
students.
Correct. So here you can also see that we can use its own variable on itself because it has been defined at the top. Sounds good?
Sounds good.
That was it. That was
Do-
concept 2.
Do we bring back the cameras?
Gabe is on camera work now. So that was concept 2.
I'm
That was it.
multitasking.
Yeah.
I'm learning and cameraing.
That was concept 2. So concept 1, variables. We want to store the things. Concept 2, we can ask them questions. Concept 3 is functions. So functions are a way to take code you have written and isolate it so it can be reused again and again. Because programmers, it's kind of a joke that programmers are lazy. They write code so the computer can do the work. We don't want to do the work, right? No.
Of course. Who wants to work?
So let's imagine a function. So this is going to be a little bit more. And this might be where brain starts to fry a little bit.
Let's go.
Yeah. So we would like a function that when we give it 2 numbers, it will give us the bigger number. Okay? So let's just start this from where it starts. Int max. So it's a function called max that when it is executed, it will give us an integer, a whole number. We don't know what the number is going to be, but we know it's going to be a number. Sounds good? And it takes in 2 numbers. So think of this as...
That's a very good point someone just brought up.
Yes.
That I can just do this instead. Well, I can just put this on top.
You're doing some magic.
Oh, it's close enough. There we go.
Okay, it's fine. Let's just keep this stable. So the A and the B, you are defining a variable just the same way you are defining them in the other place. They just don't have a value yet. Or, as in this case, the value comes from the outside. And you'll see that in a bit. And then the function, everything within the curly braces is run when someone executes the function. So we can ask the question, like with everything else. We're asking the question if A is bigger than B, because we want the bigger number, right? So how would you solve this? If A is bigger than B, then A is the bigger number and we want that one, right? But what if A isn't bigger than B? What number do we want then?
B.
B?
We
Yeah.
want B.
We want B, correct. So here's a new syntax. It is called a return. So that is the value that we give to the user that called the function. So we do some work. We can have some code within the function. And then when we are ready, and when we have our value ready, we can return the value. So we define a function with the header. That's the first line, where we say, well, what is it going to return? What is the name of it? And what does it take in? Does it take in any variables? And then within the curly braces is the code that we run. It can be any code. It doesn't have to be like this. It's any code we want can be in there. But then when we're ready with the value, we return the value. Okay? So that's concept 3. That's it.
can bring back the border. I realize I can fix something.
Sure, that's fine. Be good. So here we are creating a variable called foo. Just called something that uses max.
So foo is just a made up name.
Just a
It
meta.
could be anything.
Could be anything.
Okay. Foo.
Foo. And here it is calling the function max with the number 5 and 10. So in this instance, we can't assign max to foo. We have to run max as a bit of code with the numbers 5 and 10. And then when max has done its job,
Then you have foo.
then foo can have a number. So if you go back, so the first number is called A, the second number is called B. So 5, A will be 5, and B will be 10. So if we go back to here, we'll say A is 5, B is 10. Is A bigger than B? Is 5 bigger than 10? Nope. We won't go into the if. So we will skip past the if and go down to the line that says return B, which will return the number 10 to whoever called it. So we asked a question, we got a false. We will jump over the if, go down to the line that says return B. So here, what will this return?
10.
Correct.
So if you go back, can you go back to the last
Yes.
one? So if A was 10 and B was 5,
Yep.
you would never even go down to the return B because it would know to return A first.
Yes.
You're only skipping the return A because A is not bigger than B.
Yes. Only because
it doesn't meet the requirement of if A is bigger than B, then you go down into return A.
Correct.
But because it's not, you just go down to return B, so it's telling it to return the other number.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And if, let's say that A is bigger than B, let's say A is the number 12 and B is the number 10, we will go into the curly braces, into the if. There, the line of code is to say return A, so we will return the number that is stored within A, and then the function will end. We won't go down into B. This is kind of the exit point. This is the door to exit the function. We're done, no more work is being done. Even if we would put a line below return A, nothing will happen. It will exit at that point. So here, yeah, it will be the number 10. Ready for a little bit more complexity?
Let's do it.
We have a variable bar that calls max and takes the number 11 and foo. So what is foo?
Well, it was 10 before.
Okay, so what would be the value of bar?
11.
Yeah, because 11 is bigger than 10. So we can use variables as values in functions. One more?
Yeah. Jesus.
So here is kind of the exercise of
What is right?
what is right.
What?
So we would like to know what the value of what is. That's why I called it that way. Okay, the value of what is the result of max, right?
The
But-
result of max is...
Another result of another max.
Yeah.
So we have to finish the innermost max first. So we
Yes.
will finish the innermost max, which will return us what?
12.
12. Then we have a max of 12 and bar.
Which would still be... So what would be 12?
Yes,
Because it's still bigger than
correct.
bar, which
There you
was
go.
11.
There we go.
Yeah.
So this is called composition. You can use functions in functions. This only works because max returns an integer, and max also wants to get an integer as a value. So, 3 concepts. And a lot of day-to-day programming is this. Only these 3 concepts. Variables, conditions, functions. So Gabe, let's recap. A variable is...
Putting me on the spot here.
Yeah.
Is it just it's the numbers?
So what would you do with a variable? What would you store in a variable?
Like we store the actual number itself.
Yeah, you store the actual number itself. Do you have to give it a name?
Yeah.
Yeah. When you define it, do you have to put the integer always or only sometimes? Or when do you put the integer?
Always. No, only sometimes.
When is the sometimes?
I have absolutely no idea. I don't remember.
Only the first time you create it.
Okay. Only the first time. So that's
Yeah.
the only... Okay.
So first time a variable comes into existence, you have to tell the computer of what type it is.
Okay.
But after you've done that, the computer knows.
Okay.
Because it can't, you can create a variable that's, for example, an integer, and then you can't turn it into something else, like a Boolean or a floating point number, like with a comma and all that. Okay? Conditions, what are conditions used for?
To tell you what the condition of a function is, or what the conditions of the variable is.
Yeah.
Not the function, the variable, because
So
the function is the one below.
Yeah, so you use the condition to ask questions about variables. And then functions.
How? We just did this, but I don't really know how to define it.
It's fine.
It's the whole telling which one's larger than. No, that's a condition. I don't remember the exact
It's
definition.
fine. The idea with the function is to wrap code.
Okay.
So just here's a bit of code. We want to give it a name, and then we can run it. We can create as many functions as we want. Functions can take in other values. So
function is just like a smaller little group of code that works in itself.
Correct.
So it's like it's making the wider code easier to use, so you don't have to repeat the function. It's just you put the function in.
You nailed it on the head.
Nice.
Yeah.
Still, I'm like forgetting what variable. No, variables are just numbers.
Yes.
Conditions is to decide what the variable is.
Asking the question.
Yeah, asking the question. And the function is just a wrapping of
There you go.
a smaller bit of.
There you go.
Nice.
So
Cool.
with those three concepts, most of every other bit of code is using those three concepts just in a more complex way.
Olafur Ross. This is very accurate. There's no wrong answers. There's
No
just
wrong answers.
Little
It's
mistakes.
just happy mistakes. Happy bugs. No.
Happy bugs.
Happy bugs. The thing is, once you've mastered these three things, this is the foundation. Everything else is built upon those three things. So, there's always more to learn.
Oh yeah.
The rabbit hole goes deeper and deeper, but this is good for now. Like I said, we can make stuff with only these three concepts. So,
Let's
we
go.
make stuff?
We should go. We should do
We should
it.
go back to Smiley Cam.
Hey.
There
Hey
we go.
there.
Okay, so let us show you the way.
The world.
Oops, F11 apparently he said.
No, it should be not F11 on this screen. Not this one.
It was that one.
Or do you want your screen?
I wanted to show them the website.
Ah, there you go. Now you F11.
Cool. Now can F11. So the website is called Open Processing. We can paste that.
Yes, I can paste it.
You can paste that in. Let me show you if we go. Apparently I can't go to the front page. But anyway, it's Open Processing. And then there's a URL called Create Sketch.
I can show people how to get to that on my PC.
Yeah, do that, since you don't have the account set up. So if you switch over to your machine.
Yes. So yeah, once you get onto the page, so this is the landing page for Open Processing. Just full screen this. Okay, cool. Once you get onto the landing page, it's just this button here, no hassle coding, create a sketch.
Correct.
You click on it, you end up with something like this.
Yeah. So if you go back to mine, so I could just,
Run yours.
So you would have a window like this. And for us, because Open Processing supports two languages, or two types of processing languages, we just want to delete this, if there's any code there. And then on the right side here, it would say P5.js or processing.js. And what we want is the processing.js. Sound good?
Sounds great.
Sounds great. And then the second thing, there is a, nope, that's the wrong one. Reference. Here we go. It's processing.org. So processing.org/reference. And this is the language reference for the language we are using. And all of these things here that we are watching here, these are functions that are already built into the language and we can just use.
Frame rate's important.
Frame rate is an important thing.
Yeah, I like that one.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to do...
That means if I just put frame rate 144, everything just runs at 144 and we never have to worry about anything again?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
Why don't we just put that in all our games?
So we do that?
Yeah.
So we code?
Yeah.
So for everybody who has it set up, we would have Open Processing set up. We can do this for us.
Ready to go back to the double code screen?
We do the double code
Bam.
screen. Mm-hmm. All right, Gabe.
It is free, by the way. There's like 0 barrier to entry. You can just go onto the website.
Yeah,
It's all
you
there.
don't even need to make an account. You need to make an account if you want to save your sketch on the website. But if you just want to mess around with us, you can always just write code.
I'm coding.
You are. If you just want to write code and then just save it to a notepad file or do whatever, you can do that. That's totally fine. Okay.
Nice.
So there are 2 things we have to learn here before we can get started, is that processing relies on 2 functions. There are 2 functions we have to write for processing to run. Okay? It is a function that returns void. So if you
Void.
would type in void,
Whoops. Not K-void.
yeah,
Or
void,
not void.
it just means that it doesn't return anything. The function never returns a value to someone. And it's called setup. And it also doesn't take in anything. It just has the braces. And then we can hit enter and we can do our curly braces. So that is the first function we have to write.
Oh my god. I can't type.
You have the Swedish keyboard?
I did. Now I have it. Now I have it in a keyboard that I understand.
Okay,
We're good.
good. The second one is another void function. You can just have it below.
Void.
And it is called draw.
Draw.
And then you can do the curly braces.
Oh,
There you go.
Nailed it.
Those 2 have to be written. And how this program works is the processing website will call this function once when we start up, and will call this function every frame. So if you have frame rate set to 60, it will try to call this function 60 times a second. Sounds good? So we can click on play, and what we will get is a small box.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. So if you go back, we can call a function called size. So here we are calling a function called size. It takes in 2 numbers. How big do you want this to have? Let's do 400 by 300. And then you close it and semicolon, because it's an end of a 1-line statement. So if you click play,
Oh, it's a bigger box.
it is a bigger box.
So, just as someone who knows nothing, you get the size thing from the reference page that you
So
mentioned.
let's
before.
look at that in the reference page. So
I can go to your screen fully.
I had it here, but let's go. So
There.
let me move this to the side so it's easier to see. So this is on the reference page. You can look at it. It says the name of the function is called size. Here is an example of someone using it, size something, and some other code next to it. Here are the setup and draw functions someone has. Let me maybe make this a little bigger. There we go.
Oh shit! I made a box. Bam.
You made a box. Game Programmer of the Year. And then you have more details about the function itself. It is in like... You can see these are pretty detailed. But here, if you scroll down, it will say syntax. And we like syntax. We want to know how things work. So it is a size, it takes in a width and a height. Okay, what are the parameters? That's the thing that comes into the function. The width is an integer. The width of the display in pixels. Height is an integer. Height of the display in pixels. It returns void because when we set the size, we don't need to get anything back. I don't need to tell it, I don't need to get from it like, yeah, it worked. I assume it works. Okay, so if we go back to this, we can use another function called background.
Ooh. So we need brackets again.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it takes in 3 integers. And what do you think those are?
Color.
Yes. So it's the red, green, and blue. So if I say 0, 0, 0,
So you have to put. Does it have to be 0, space 0, or can it just be 0,
the space is optional.
Okay.
It's if you want to have space, that's fine.
Yeah.
So if you click play on that,
Oh.
the whole screen is black.
Uh-oh.
Uh-huh.
That's not right.
It's okay.
Oh no.
We're
Do
good.
I get to do the fail button now?
No, it's correct.
Okay.
All right. So again, we can go to the website. I can probably do background. Here
Yeah,
it is.
number. So that's an RGB value. So
Correct.
the numbers go from 0 to 25, and it's RGB. So it's the red, green, blue
Correct.
value.
So here, if I do on the reference page for background, here it says you can send in one number. It supports that, but then it will be the same for every number. Here's an example of 3 numbers. Here is pretty cool.
Ooh, an image.
You can load an image. We'll do those later. But you can just say background and it will take an image later. So here's a few examples, few of the values it takes.
Ooh, alpha. We can do the opacity.
We can do opacity. This tool is pretty powerful. And then it also has related functions. Like if you're thinking about this area, here are other stuff you can call.
It's processing.com/reference or processing.org/reference.
Processing.org/reference. Can you paste the...
Yeah, I can. I think someone tried to paste it and it got deleted.
Oh, sorry.
Don't try to post links in chat. It won't like it.
It doesn't like it. Gabe is fixing this.
Yeah, just gonna link this real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I said, next we'll have better commands for everything that we
Yeah,
need. So
yeah.
it'll be like a reference one, a link to that, and then a language and all that stuff.
Okay. So the third one we want to write is your favorite. Frame rate with a big R.
Yeah.
Frame rate with a big R. Big R.
Is there any reason for that?
I don't know. Let's see if
It's
there's...
just what they want.
Seems to be. Oh, it seems that they are... If it's one word, it's lowercase.
They
If
capitalize the second word.
they capitalize the second word, yes. So if you do frame rate... So here you see a few values. There's frame count, frame rate with the parentheses, and then frame rate. I think this one will give you the frame rate, and this one will set the frame rate.
So we can have it just read the frame rate number?
Yes. We can have the frame rate in the corner.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. So here frame rate, someone is running at 4 frames a second. That's not acceptable.
That's not acceptable.
No. So we can set in 60. Yeah. Maybe to do a semicolon. We click play, and there's no difference. But hey, it's 60 frames a second.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I have a black box at 60 FPS. Nailed it.
Okay. Then there's one minor one, which we'll explain more later. It is no stroke. No stroke. And it doesn't take anything. And then semicolon. This just means that any box that we draw doesn't have an outline. It has a solid color. And you can see that also in the reference.
Ship it. We're done.
Done.
Ship it.
Straight on to Uplay. Right? Good. Okay. But we want to draw something. We want something on the screen.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's actually just go to the reference guide and let's find something to draw. And I think you can do curves, you can do shapes. There should be not used to it being this. Where was it? Here we go. 2D primitives. Here we go. So we have rectangles, quads, triangles, and arcs and ellipses. We have a few...
Can you zoom out the page a little bit just because it's...
I can do this.
Cuts off. Yeah, there.
Yeah. So we can make a rectangle. We can make a quad, which is just a rectangle you can play more around with the values. We can make an arc, which are just arc shapes. Or we can make ellipses, which are circles. Mm-hmm. So to start now, we'll draw one ellipse. So let's try that. So let's look at, let's practice using the reference and then using the reference to write something out.
So for this...
It will be an ellipse. What does it take? It takes in 4 numbers. You can see that it wants a float.
Yeah.
We haven't learned about that. A float is just a number that you can add decimal points afterwards, 12.4 or whatever. But if you give it an integer is convertible into float. But a float is not convertible into an int because you will lose values. So if you say 12 just as an integer, as a float it's just 12.0. But at 12.5 you can't represent that with an integer because you will lose the 0.5. So it is happy to take in just a number in that. So we'll take 4. It's the X and Y coordinates.
So where we want it on the page.
We're on the page, and the width and the height of the ellipse. So let us just start. If I go back to the sketch.
So just type ellipse.
Ellipse. Let's do a 0, 0. So on the 0x and 0y coordinates.
Right in the center.
And let's just give it a 50 and a 50 for the height and width. Okay, and something's going to happen right now.
Oh no, am I going to click play now?
Click play. It's in the corner.
What does that mean?
It's a half of a circle.
It's half of a circle.
Yeah, but let's go back to code. Let's make it bigger. Let's make it 150. We go back. It's just a bigger half
It's
circle.
just a bigger one.
Why is that? Why do you think that is, Gabe?
Why it's only that big? Or why it's
Well,
there and why it's not in the middle? I have
yeah.
a lot of whys.
Yeah. Okay, why is it in there, not in the middle? What X and Y coordinate do we give it?
We give it 0, 0.
Where is... What is the reference point of a circle?
The middle.
Yeah. So we would have to offset the circle to get it into the screen. But how much do we have to offset the circle?
By at least 150?
At least 150. So let's try that.
Or at least the size of the circle itself.
Yeah. So let's do 150, 150.
Oh, I got a circle. Okay, so with 0, 0, where did it want to place it then? Where was it trying to place it?
So if we do background, I'm gonna just do this to show a little bit. If I change the background color a little bit, it doesn't show it like that. Let me do this, where it's in the center. So we have our box, which was, what was it? 400 by 300.
Yeah.
The origin point of the square is
so
up
that's
here.
okay, so it's putting it inside the box.
Yes.
That's what what didn't connect in my
Yeah,
head. So it's trying to
this-
put it inside the box.
This whole screen is not our box. Our box is just here in the center.
Okay. So then it was trying to the 0, 0 value was
The
top
corner
left of the box.
Correct. The top corner of the box. We can see this by if we make the circle way too big,
Yeah. It just will
it will fill the screen.
now it's just a box.
Now it's at the box. No. It's a circle. You don't understand.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you go back. All right, so we drew something. That's
Yeah.
great. I would like to change the color of the ellipse. I'm going to go back to 150, 150, just because so we can see it. And how you change the color is that you set the drawing color just before you draw the object.
So the draw color has to always be before.
Has to be before. If you set it and then draw a bunch of objects, they will all have the same color. So if we do, it's called fill, and it takes in 3 numbers.
RGB.
Yes.
So what if we do? Can we make a purple box?
I'm just going to let you do whatever you want. There you go.
Bam.
So the idea is that it will fill whatever's coming up next with the color you gave it, and then you draw things. Or you can think of it that you just swapped pens. Now you're using the red pen as to fill things.
Sweet.
Sweet. Okay. Now, I want us to take these 2 lines of code and turn them into a function. And then use that function to draw our red circle. Okay? So to create a function, we can add some lines there above. And you would do void, because it doesn't return anything. But what would you call this?
Void color?
What are we drawing?
Circle?
Circle, you could do that. What's more descriptive, maybe?
Special circle?
Let's call it special circle. Special circle. Okay, does it take in anything? Do these 2 lines of code need anything?
No.
No. Okay, then we just have. We don't take anything. And then what happens?
Now don't we need to do the function itself?
Yeah. How do you do that?
You need the squiggly brackets first.
The squiggly brackets.
Sorry, I'm very slow with the squiggly brackets.
Mhm.
It's not a key I'm used to hitting.
That's okay. Okay.
So,
What we can do is we can take these lines of code
yeah.
and literally copy paste them up there. I'm gonna shrink my code text size a little bit. There we go. So now the fill
sick.
and the ellipse are within the special circle function. So if you delete them from your draw, those two lines, from within the draw, yes, and then click
press
play, what happens?
It's not there.
Why not?
Because it doesn't know that it should draw it.
Correct. And how would you draw it?
We need to give it a function that tells it to draw.
Mm-hmm. How would you write this?
Wouldn't it be above? So we need a function that tells it to apply this.
Correct.
Which means it should be before.
Where do we draw? Where did we do all our drawings?
I mean, in the void draw.
Correct.
So we call the function void draw? Or I'm very confused.
It's fine. What we can do is...
Help me.
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
Ah, yes.
We can call special circle. We open close a brace because it doesn't take in anything and semicolon.
And
I
now
think someone in chat was yelling at you that fill doesn't have a semicolon.
Oh, oops.
The language is fine for that.
You didn't see anything.
It's fine. So when you click play...
Now, okay. So now,
So
now it knows to call the special circle in the draw section.
Correct. So there we created our own thing.
Is that a function then?
Yes.
Ah. Nice.
I like that. That is the I get it.
So now I can just put special circle everywhere.
Well, what happens if you put two of them? Can you write special circle twice?
Where? Just like, I don't know. I don't think anything will happen.
Why not?
Because it's just calling the same function twice.
Okay. But what if you wanted to draw a special circle in two locations?
Then we need to tell it, we need to give it a different coordinates.
Uh-huh. So let's do that.
Okay.
So we would have to give special circle coordinates.
Yeah.
So that means that we're going to have to take in values, which is here in the parentheses in the function.
Yeah.
So we would say int x and then int y.
Int x.
Because we're going to take an int x and int y. Okay? So now we have those two variables, x and y, which will hypothetically contain the x and the y values that someone wants to put the circle in. But where would you put the x and the y variables in our little function?
Here?
No, within the function.
Oh.
Where in the function would you put x and y? Because now, let's say you have special circle, and you say 10 and 20.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's put 10 and 20. This will illustrate a point. And then you click play. Nothing changed.
Yeah.
It's not offset by the 10 and 20, right? Why not?
Because you're not telling it to be...
Nothing within the variable, within the function is using the x and y. Would fill use x and y?
No.
Would ellipse use it?
No. So we need to tell it to use x and y.
Well, what's the first argument of ellipse? Let's go back to this one, which is the documentation. So an ellipse takes in 4 numbers.
Yeah.
The first number is the x coordinate.
And the y.
Yeah.
So you could just change it to be x and y.
Correct.
Instead of...
So show me.
Whoops.
And then click play. There you go.
Aha. So now I could just change this to whatever I wanted.
Change it.
Sure, 500.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to type. Oh, no, it's gone. It's out of the...
Why is it gone?
Because it's out of the...
Out of the bounds. Out of bounds. There it is. Okay.
Nice.
Let's say you want to create another circle. You want 2 circles.
Oh man, how do I do that? Could I then add now another
Correct.
special circle?
Yeah.
With just different coordinates?
Yeah.
So if I do 50-50 and maybe 150 and 150.
Mm-hmm.
Bam, now we have 2 circles.
There you go. There you go. 2 circles.
Yeah.
Now.
Because now, okay, now since we've just assigned x and y and we've told ellipse that x and y are the coordinates.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, we could also could we assign different variables to the colors or
Keep
not
on
the
going.
colors?
Yeah.
This is the.
Do what you think you're
But
doing.
which what? Sorry, with the, can you open the
The
documentation again just to see
Mhm.
what they are? So it's the width. So I could just change this to like
Go for it.
Z and I don't know random letters C.
Okay. Let's see where this is going.
No, but I need this too, right?
Go ahead.
I need. There's too much pressure.
No, it's fine. You're doing good.
But do I need to add
It
them
was
here?
it's the width and height. So
Yeah.
you need 2 more variables,
Yeah,
right?
so I need int Z and int C.
Yeah.
And if I add those here,
Mm-hmm.
so this is width
This
I
is
just
the
do
width
like
of the circle.
15,
Mm-hmm.
15, and 45, 45.
Mm-hmm. That's why I just let you go ahead, because
Can I do it?
you did it.
Can I?
Yeah,
Oh no,
Yeah.
Hamish said I'm not allowed to do it.
You can do it.
But I want to do it.
you can do it. Ass.
Sorry, no, I need to go.
He wanted to do that
I
for a
just
long
need to
time.
go back to
Yeah.
this.
There's a good comment here. Very nice variable names. He's joking. So the third argument you call a z or c. Well, what is it actually? It is the width.
The width.
Yeah.
So I could just call it W.
You can call it. No, you can call it width.
Hmm.
You can have the full name.
Oh,
Yeah, you can call it width.
nice. That's even easier.
Even easier, and that's the what?
That's
Height.
how you,
Because you're just creating variables.
yeah.
Okay,
But then I need to change that here
correct.
too.
But do a play for me. I want to show another thing. If you do that, you will
Z is not defined.
yeah, you will get an error message at the bottom, tell you what's wrong, which is also very nice to see.
But if I change it just to this
Mm-hmm.
and height
Mm-hmm.
and do the same thing, then it should be fixed.
So you are updating 2 circles by changing 1 line, because you have now created an abstraction around drawing your special circle. Cool.
Yeah.
Shall we go on to the big thing?
Sure. Should I do something here or just keep this?
You can keep this. We can delete the special circle for now. We have it here.
Both of them?
This function itself and the thing in draw. Okay.
Bye-bye circles.
Yes, they were very special. But now we are going to draw the NGON logo.
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah. There's going to be a bunch of magic numbers I'm going to give you, because the logo doesn't have very nice, like 100 height, 50 width.
Yeah, Hamish.
So the NGON logo is like a big N. It is actually 4 columns, and we're going to use a thing called a quad. So let's look at the...
Special circle 2018 to 2018 rip.
There we go.
We're using Castellici. We're using processing.
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 Yeah.
That's the language, but the tool we're using is openprocessing.org.
Correct. So
Someone can link that in chat. That's a mod. Please feel this.
a quad is a quadrilateral or 4-sided polygon. It's not an NGON.
It's not an NGON.
It's a 4-sided polygon. It's similar to a rectangle, but you can mess around with the edges. So you can see it takes in much more numbers. And the thing is, it takes in 4 pairs of numbers.
Ooh.
Yes. So if you think of this as the first pair of numbers, second pair, third, and fourth.
There's 2 coordinates for each, or
The X and Y for each.
yeah. Okay.
And then every pair is a corner on the quad. So you're saying the X and Y, the X and Y, the X and Y, and the X and Y. So you can see that X1, Y1, the X and Y coordinate. So that's how you can create this silly rectangle. So let's go back to the sketch. And we will create a function.
So we need to start with void.
Void, because it doesn't return anything. And I call this the right column. Right column. And it doesn't take anything. All right. So it is a quad.
I can relate to that rectangle.
It is a quad. It's the right column. I'll need to read in. So the numbers are 0, 75, 62, 75, 62, oh, sorry, 62, 200.
Oh, wow. Big number.
Big number. Let me see. 0, 75, 62, 75, 62, 200, yes, 0, and then 239. Make sure that
Just a random old 239 there.
good old 239. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then let's call this function in our draw. Right column. Okay. And then hit play.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's do one thing. I think we have to do. Let's make the screen a bit bigger. I think I do it like that. 800 by 600. Mm-hmm.
On the size of it?
Yeah. Right column. We double check the number. 0, 75, 62, 75.
0, 75, 62. Quick maths.
Quick maths. 200, 239. Yeah. Okay. That's correct. Yes, this is correct. It looks weird now, but yeah,
I can see it.
you can see it. The next one is called left column. Left column. And it does not take anything. Okay.
Then we need to also make a...
So we make a quad there. Mm-hmm. Ready for numbers?
Yeah.
202, 39, 264. So big numbers. 0. It's like a random 0 in there. Another 264. 180. 202. And another 180. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Let me shrink this down a bit so you can see. And then we are going to draw the left column after the right column. So ordering does matter. So we say left column. So if we draw a thing and then in the line after it, say another thing, it will be drawn on top of it. So the order does matter. So let me minimize that.
It's basically the same thing as OBS. You need to tell it which scene is on top of which.
Correct.
Bam.
Correct. So what do we have now?
2 lines. That
2 lines.
looks strange.
Yeah. We have something coming, no? Right?
We have 2 lines.
We have 2 lines. All right. Next function.
We're going to need to scroll down soon.
Yes, we're going to need to scroll down. So, I called this one top left, bottom right. It's where the angle... So it's a void, top left, bottom right. So it starts from the top left and goes down to the bottom right.
Okay.
It doesn't take in anything.
Nothing. Nada.
Nada. And as you can guess, it is not the quad. It is this one and one more, and then we're done. So it's not that much. Not that much. So we have double 0, 0 and a 0. We have 264 and 164. Another 264 and a 239. A 0 and a 75. All right. I'm going to... let me do a thing so I can actually scroll. I can scroll it here. There we go. If you add enters, you can scroll in. So I'm going to copy the top left, bottom right, and it should be at the... it should be the last thing. Let's click play. See what happens.
Gonna have another. Oh shit! I can see it.
You can see it.
I can see it.
You can see it. But there's one more.
It's one more. It's not complete yet.
It's not complete. So let's scroll up a bit. Make a new function. And I call this bottom left, top right. Top right. Doesn't take in anything. And it is also a quad. You see, you're getting used to typing these things.
Yeah.
It's to say, like I talked about before, it takes a while to get acquainted to what's going on. So this is bottom left.
So when you just these numbers that you're reading out, this is how did you figure out the position of each one of these?
So I took the logo from Twitter copied the thing, went into Paint, and then just started measuring.
Oh, okay.
Like,
It's just because it
Yes.
seems like a bunch of random numbers, but they're just coordinates.
yes,
Like as we said, you talked about before, just coordinates for each
yes,
corners.
for each corner. And this was just, it took like 30 minutes in Paint, or just this pixel
Finding
here,
the
and
exact
then
one.
find the exact size of it. So this is bottom left, top right. And the thing also,
And is it a quad?
it is a quad.
It is a quad.
When you've gone into making video games, you won't put in the numbers like this manually. Usually the artist will create something. The tool he is using, or she, will output this to a file, all these numbers. And then you will just read the files. And then the tool will just take the numbers and use them directly. So you don't put in numbers like this manually, but it's interesting to see it. So this is bottom left, top right. That is a 0. 239, sorry. Another 0. 164. 264. A 0. Another 264. And then a 75. And then we can scroll down. I can copy that. And he is at the top. He's the first thing. So we have bottom left, top right, right column, left column, top left, bottom right. So let's click play. And this looks weird.
Ooh.
This doesn't look like the logo.
No.
But it
colors.
needs colors. Gabe is on it. So, how do we do colors? It was the fill function, right?
Yeah.
So the top left, bottom right function will have a fill. So top left, bottom right. That's the wrong function.
Oh.
All right.
I'll get there eventually.
Eventually. Okay. The magic will come in a bit. So the color that I got is...
Which is the RGB value again.
Yes.
Good old
It's
69.
69, 7, 1, no, 48. Sorry.
48.
Yeah. And then a semicolon. And then hit play.
Oh, whoops. I hit save instead for some reason.
And you'll see everything will
Oh,
turn
yeah.
purple. But why?
Good question.
We talked about it before. Fill will set
Oh, yeah.
what
to
color
everything.
to draw things with.
It'll set
So
to
let's-
everything.
Yeah, so let's keep on setting fill. This is bottom left, top right. The fill there is 69. Wait. I did a mistake. Hey. So this is bottom left, top right. That is the color we did before, 69748. That is in bottom left, top right, sorry. So in top left, bottom right, I did a boo-boo.
I did a boo-boo.
There's a lot of numbers here.
How dare you?
So top left, bottom right is 228, 58, 61. Let's play on that one.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
So because before there was only one color, it just decided everything
Everything-
is this color.
Correct.
But now that we have two different colors, it's decided that everything. So it's taking the color of the first one and still applying it to everything.
It did the color of the first one
Yeah.
because it was set in the bottom left, top right.
Yeah.
And then it applied to all the other functions it called.
But now we've told top left, bottom right that it's this color.
Yes.
But since bottom left, top right was first.
It will be on the right column and left column, but only the last column, the angular one will take its own color.
Yeah. Okay.
So right column
Yeah.
is a very simple one. It is 25500. And then the same thing for left column. We can just copy that one. There you go.
Bam.
There we go. We have a little logo.
I recognize that.
You recognize that?
I recognize that one.
That's good.
Just a little bit.
Okay. So
Did I forget? Oh, I forgot a semicolon.
the
Language
language is
semicolons everywhere.
okay with that. Other languages are not.
Will this be uploaded? Yeah, both the
Yeah.
VOD will be uploaded as well as all the code we use will be put onto our GitHub,
Okay.
which will most likely be in the link, the description of the video.
Yes. So we have 2 things left, and then we're done.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Gustav wants to go crazy. He wants like wobbles and stuff like that. Is that a future episode?
Future. Yeah.
Future.
We're gonna make
Gotta
games,
start with the
man.
basics. I don't know what I'm doing
We're
yet.
gonna make games.
I still.
So, so the thing here we have in draw
Yeah.
are the columns, the right column, the left column, and the two angular ones. That is the logo.
Yeah.
If I can think of these 4 lines as a concept, that is the NGON logo, right? Okay. I can then create a function called NGON logo and move them in. Can you do that, Gabe?
Could I just call it? I don't remember.
Mm-hmm. Does it return anything?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wrong squiggly line.
If it doesn't return anything, what do you have to do?
I don't remember. Oh, don't I need to assign values in here, don't I?
That's when you take in values. If you don't return anything, you put a void at the
Yes,
left
yes,
side.
void.
Yes. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. We don't take anything yet. I don't think so. You have a void on the bottom left, top right, line 40.
Oh,
Yeah.
whoops.
Okay. So if these 4 lines as a concept are the logo,
Yeah.
can we just move them into the squigglies?
No, because then it won't know what to draw.
Well, you want to draw the NGON logo, right?
Yeah, but it won't know.
Well, you can just tell it. So if you move those 4 lines in, and in draw, you say NGON logo.
Here?
Yeah. With open and close.
Ah,
There you go.
it'll be the same thing?
Yeah.
Aha.
Because now you created a function.
We created a function called NGON logo and telling
With,
the draw to pull that information based on all of. Are these are functions
Yes.
as well?
Yes. These
So
are all functions.
Oh my god. So these are all the functions that tell it what shape it is
Mm-hmm.
and what color it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is the function that tells it that all of that is called the NGON logo.
Yes.
So now we can create, if we wanted to, we can just create a bunch of NGON logos. Almost.
We can. You wanna?
Sure.
Let's do one thing first, but we're gonna.
Yeah.
Let's do that. So you created this. So this is called abstraction. So that's the hidden 4th concept I wanted to teach.
Oh.
But I didn't want to talk about it.
3, there was 4.
There was 4. The 4th one is abstraction. So now you have in your hands a function called NGON logo. That is a pretty powerful concept. You could say NGON logo and it will appear on the screen.
NGON logo.
Yeah, and then there it is. But what is NGON logo? Well, NGON logo is those
Bottom.
4 elements. Well, what are those 4 elements? Well, one of them,
They're 4 quads.
they're 4 quads with a color attached to it.
Yeah.
But then you can keep on going.
Oh,
What's a
no.
quad? How is quad implemented? Because quad,
It's a variable.
no, quad is a function
Yeah. Oh no.
with its own implementation.
It's just functions and functions and functions.
Correct.
And functions.
It's functions all the way down.
Nice.
There we go.
We're just packaging functions in functions.
Yes.
And then it creates a bigger
yes.
function.
And that idea is very important, that you're able to take, when we want to solve a problem with programming, we have a general idea and we want to solve it, but we can't solve it directly. We have an idea. We want to be able to say NGON logo and it appears. But what does that mean? Okay,
You have to actually create NGON logo to exist somewhere first.
yeah, and what does that contain? It contains those 4 columns. Okay, how do we draw those 4 columns? Well, the first column kind of looks like this. How do we make that shape? Well, it's these coordinates. So with the building blocks, you are able to build up more and more complex ideas. And that's how like video games and servers and clients and everything is made. It is a building blocks of simple ideas mashed together again and again and again until you have a button that says download. Or when you click your mouse, the gun will shoot. It's just an abstraction upon abstraction upon, like it keeps on going.
Just real quick, Control XD. Are you in Discord? I can send you everything on Discord if you're in our NGON Discord. He accidentally deleted.
Yeah, we can do that. You can, copy yours. I'm gonna fix mine.
If you're in Discord, In the code school, I'm just gonna write, poke me. Just poke me and write to me, and I will paste you all the text.
There, I have my logo. Okay, so now with the same idea that you had before, we want to give it an X and Y coordinate. We want to move the logo around. But to move the logo around,
We have to give it.
we have to move all the elements of the logo around. So we have to give X and Y coordinates to all the columns. We can just do, int X, int Y.
In code school, there's a channel we have dedicated just to code school.
Yes,
In fact, can I paste the whole thing in here?
could be.
Oh, I pasted everything in there. I'll leave it there for actually, I'll just leave it there. That's where we are now. So people can.
It seems to keep the formatting. Someone's asking about that.
Yeah, it seems to be okay.
Okay, so for every one of our columns,
Yep.
we want to put in int X and int Y. Because we would like to take in two variables that tell the column of where it is. And you can just copy that guy and paste that into every little bracket. And now comes a little fun.
Oh snap.
What you have to do is, because all of these values are X and Y,
Yeah.
but every other one is X and every other one is Y,
Yeah.
what you would do is, you would say that the first quad is 0 plus X. So you want to keep the relative distances.
Top left, bottom.
Top left, bottom right, yes. It's you have them other way around.
Ah.
You can actually just copy the guy and move him up if you want to. Yeah. The order doesn't matter unless they're calling each other.
So this is
Plus X. Okay, and what you would do is, you can copy this
for every other one.
for every other one, not for everyone. So it's on 264 and then the 0. Yeah.
And then for every single one, we need to do that.
You do the Y.
Oh, yeah. I was already getting ahead into the next one.
Yeah, you could do for the Y. Or you could do it for the next column. So let's just go through that. Let's see if we make any mistakes along the way, because mistakes can be hilarious.
Yeah.
Let's keep on doing this. Because there's a pretty cool thing that happens when we do this. And then the last one.
You copied the 0? I messed up? Uh-oh. Where'd I mess up? Hold on. Maybe I messed up and it'll be funny.
Yeah? That's okay.
I added a 0 to... Oh, I did. Whoops. There's just...
It was like
there's just...
in the thousands.
Yeah, there's just a big old 0 there.
There we go. Okay.
Can you copy everything, please? Good names are used. Everything's in our Discord. If you join the Discord server and head into the Code School channel, we pasted the text in there. Or the code, not the text.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't have told me about that. It would have been funny. It would have been funny just to see it be like completely
But there'll be
wrong.
one of the columns is off to the side, I think.
Just random. Like, where'd that one go?
There we go. Okay. So now we will put the X and Y in NGON logo, because the logo itself takes an X and Y. Right?
Sorry, I was reading something in chat. What are you? Sorry.
In NGON logo
yes.
itself, we will put an int X and int Y. But these four functions now want an X and a Y, which we will use from NGON. So we can just say X and Y.
In each one of them.
Yeah, within the parentheses. Because the X and the Y are coming from the outside into NGON logo, these four need an X and a Y. And we want them to use the same X and Y, so they will just use the same variable. So you can reuse variables again and again. But now NGON logo wants an X and a Y. So that means that this NGON logo here needs an X and a Y.
And this is where we assign this?
We can do 0 and 0 for now. So, but think about this, what's happening then. Let's think about one of the X's.
Yeah.
It is taking the value 0. So here in NGON logo, the value is going to be 0.
Yeah.
Let's take, for example, the bottom left, top right one, this is 0. So if we go there, bottom left, top right, this x is then what value?
0.
What's happening here? 0 plus,
X.
which
so
is,
it'd be 0.
yeah, so it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Here, 0 plus 0,
Yeah.
264 plus 0.
0. It'd be still 264.
Yeah,
So this, technically right now we are not moving. We're not. If we press play, the logo should still be in the same exact spot
correct.
because we're adding 0 to it. Oh,
Correct. So if you do play, it's in the same spot.
But if you add like
So if we move it,
50 to it,
let's do that.
we're gonna be giving 50 plus everything.
Yeah. So it's shifted a little bit to the side. Maybe harder to see.
I don't even. I'm gonna do 500.
Let's do 150.
Oh, I'm going full 500. Oh, look at that.
It's
You
off
can't
the
even see
screen.
mine. It's
Off the
under.
screen.
Hold on, I'm just gonna turn off my webcam. Oh, it's you. Mine's on the bottom of the screen. I moved mine a little bit too
Replacing
far.
yourself. There we
Yeah,
go.
I'm gonna be a little bit more conservative, like you were.
Conservative,
Like
yes.
50.
So, if
Nice.
we then copy the function NGON logo and make another one under it, and give that some other value, 150, 150,
Now we're gonna make 2 of them.
we have 2 logos.
Oh, they're connecting.
Mm-hmm. Maybe move them a little bit further away.
250 maybe.
Yeah, there we go. 2 logos.
Bam, double the trouble.
Double trouble. But so with only one line of code, we were able to draw a complex object because we composed it that way. And this is the powerful idea of programming. We don't know all the intricacies of all systems and how everything is connected. No. We create these abstractions that are simple to use with a nice interface. So this is called an interface, when you can just say NGON logo and then just some 2 numbers, and the logo will appear wherever you want it.
How would you put a third logo to the right of the first logo? I would add this, then only give it an X value, which is like, I don't know, we'll do 350. Bam, did it. Smart.
Okay, so for one last hurrah.
Hurrah, let's do it. I want
Are you ready for a hurrah?
Yeah.
Let's go back to the reference.
Pass. Reference, all right.
Yeah. So the reference has a lot of neat things. But there's one thing here that is really fun for us.
You teased me about this.
There's a thing called mouse.
Mouse. I like mice.
Mm-hmm. So this is not a function. This is a variable called mouse x and mouse y. And this is basically where your mouse is on the screen. And since this is a variable, the system variable mouse x always contains the current horizontal coordinate of the mouse, and then mouse y, the y coordinate. And it's a variable. It is an integer variable. So what can we do with it?
Good question. Where do we put this? Do we make its own function?
No, it is a variable.
Okay, so
It,
then
it already exists. It already contains the number. What function would like to take in a variable?
the logo.
Yeah.
So we could assign it into the draw.
With a big X.
Huh.
And then a big Y. It is already a variable. It already exists, so we don't have to define it. It is an integer. And it specifies where the mouse is.
Oh my god. This is like when you win solitaire. And oh no.
Okay.
But this is from the top left of the...
Yeah, because
Okay.
we drew the quads in relation to the top left of the whole logo.
This is fun. I just like to move this
Yeah,
around.
we can color the whole screen here. But we want to fix this, right?
Yeah.
It'd be nice to fix this.
So it doesn't duplicate itself.
Yes. Why do you think it's duplicating itself?
I don't know if I don't know.
We are drawing the logo.
But it's just continuously trying to draw it wherever you move your mouse.
Yes.
And because...
We're not doing anything else. The
Is
computer
it drawing it at 60 frames a second?
Yes.
Just thinking about this, drawing it every frame,
Exactly.
60 times a second.
So there's nothing that clears the screen, blanks it out, so we can draw it then again.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is there's a really simple function they have. It's called clear. We just put it above the logo. And then run it. There you go. I don't know how smooth this is on stream, but
Well, we're 60 FPS. We're smooth. Can we make it 144 and make it real
try
smooth?
it.
Oh, hiccups.
Let's
Well,
try.
the stream won't see that, but we have 144 hertz screens here, so it'll
Yeah?
be super smooth.
Oh, it's very smooth.
Oh, yeah.
It lags a little on your end. I probably have a better machine.
No.
What happens if you do 12 frames a second
It's going to be really laggy. It's going to be unacceptable.
or 5 frames a second?
Oh, no, I don't want... This is like running around an Iron Forge back in vanilla.
Oh, wow.
This is what it looked like.
2 frames a second?
No. Thing of nightmares.
Wow. Not good.
Why is people stealing things on my desk? Don't do that.
Let's go back to 60. There we go.
60 is unacceptable. It's an acceptable level.
And what we can do as well is I can copy the logo. I can make a new one. And I can say mouse X, let's say plus 150. Mouse Y plus 150.
And then we control it from the middle.
We will have 2 logos.
Oh.
Both
yes,
controlled by
yes.
the mouse. And offset from each other. But you can see it looks like they're connected.
Yeah.
They don't detach from each other. That's also how you can create elements that are actually separate elements and connect them together because they contain exactly the same values.
Someone's asking in chat, could you assign an FPS value like 0.45045?
To answer questions like that, if we go to the reference and we do look for the frame rate function over here, let's see what it takes in. It takes in a floating point number. Floating point numbers are numbers like 0.45.
So we can make it real low.
Let's try that.
That doesn't sound fun. I don't want.
0.5 frames a second.
I don't even want to do this. This is horrible. It doesn't even show up yet because it hasn't loaded.
It's a frame every 2 seconds.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah. There we go. Let's go back to 60. And with the same idea that now we have those 2 logos that are controlled by the mouse. This is also a concept. Maybe not a useful concept, but it is a concept on its own. 2 logos, one offset from the other one. Okay? How's chat doing? Doing okay?
I think chat's doing pretty good. There's a bunch of people in the Code School chat trying to catch up. If you did miss this or you're joining late, like everything will be uploaded onto our YouTube channel, so you can keep up. And I think we talked about it a little at the beginning, but the idea is that you can, even if you've missed an episode or 2, you can still follow along with what we're doing. We'll upload everything to GitHub.
Yes, this whole code bit will be uploaded to GitHub.
Yep.
So you can play around with this. If you make an account on the website, which you don't have to, you can save
I might do
the
that.
sketch. It might be useful later on when we want to use many files. So you can have one file which could be like the player in a game, and the other file is like the enemy, and then the world. And then the 4th file is the game itself, which would then combine all the files.
Someone's asking in Discord, I'm restricted by the box in the middle. How do I make it bigger or remove it?
The box is unrestricted by the size.
Yeah, the size at the very top, the setup.
Yes. So I can make that bigger over here. So, oops. Yeah. So the function called size will set the size of the box. And you can also find size in the reference size here. Where you can say sizes, whatever. All right, Gabe. You happy?
Yeah, first day of school was pretty good.
First day of school. It was fun. Let me shrink this a little bit. Yes, let me see if there are any questions. The box in the middle is the screen size. Yep. Could I make Frogger using this code? Yes, you can. You can if you want to browse. Maybe we could actually do that a little bit. or you could, because I can't see the. So if you switch to your screen.
Oops.
Uh,
Wait, can I do pass now?
Yes.
Bam.
There we
Code
go.
reviewed. Pass.
Code reviewed. So make that full screen, and or not, sorry, full as in yeah. And if you go to the website just directly, open it in a new tab so you don't lose the code. You don't lose everything. On the website itself, if you scroll a bit, people are making art. It doesn't even have to be games. People are making particle systems. This is a pretty powerful language we're using here. That's why, and it was made to teach people to program. That was the idea. So you could go...
Look, games.
Yes. So if you click any of these, I don't know...
What's this one? This one looked interesting.
Non-violent mode, maybe.
Let's do it. Start game.
Yeah.
Play game. Whatever. Normal mode. Okay. This is a lot of... Oh, what the...
Is it WASD and move? Yeah. Top-down shooter.
Mess them up.
Mm-hmm. And so you look at this game, and you're like, okay, this looks like fun.
I don't know how do I... Oh, reload.
You have to reload, man.
Oh, no. They're coming for me. It's a zombie game. I'm really bad at aiming. This is really difficult to aim. Reload.
Okay, so let's say you're interested in this game and you would like to make games like this. If you click, you can see at the top, it's the same thing that we have. You can go to the code button there. That's the source code of this game. It is a bit. If you scroll to the bottom, how long is it? It's about 6,000 lines. But for every single project on the website, an art project, a game, a physics system, whatever, the source code for it is always one click away. Always one click away. And if you're like, oh, I like what this game is doing, I want to do similar things, you can go and learn. Maybe not 6,000 lines long, but it's something. All right. I think this does it for the first episode.
Bam. Nailed it.
We'll be back next week.
Yeah, next week. I think the VOD will go up in a bit, so people who are watching the VOD, this is not going to make any sense. But yeah, otherwise, I think we'll send around the description or the GitHub link and everything and the tools on Discord, as well as the description of the video, so below for you on the VOD.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, thank you for hanging out. That was fun.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
It was a question when it will be next week. It's the same time.
Same time.
Friday at 2. Or 2 CST.
Cool.
Bye. Thank you for joining.
Bye. I need to figure out how to end the stream.